You're ready to walk out to spawn, you press tab. What do you see on your screen? What are your thoughts, general thoughts?
Obviously, thinking about what I have on my team, what my job is, and who I'm
Mm-hmm.
sort of responsible for. Like priority number one is the Gambit as like main healer in the core. Punisher as well. He's going to be sat like in between. And Jubilee can obviously sit in the core as well. I know she might want to take. She might want to move around a
And
lot, but
it
yeah, I
depends
can
on the
just
rank. It depends on the rank. Like
yeah.
mostly on your rank, like buff of supporters is going to be heal botting mostly behind you, right?
Obviously, well, with the Magic and Venom, they're not really going to be with the core. They're obviously off doing their own objectives. And that's about it, really.
Okay,
Sort of
so
thing.
that is basically your analysis based on what we discussed in the first session, right?
Yeah.
So like the very basic bare bones of like your job and what matters for your job. Okay, so now
Yep.
let's expand it, or like let's start expanding it. What are your like thoughts about how the flow of the game is gonna look like? Who is gonna be doing what, and how the game is gonna look, or like what are you expecting the game to look like? Tempo wise, or like what's gonna be happening? Can you give me some thoughts on that?
I imagine it's going to be quite fast paced. Obviously, I don't know what they're playing yet, but obviously, if it's
Yeah,
like
it
I've got to
doesn't
be
matter.
prepared
Based
for
on
a
your
lot.
team, just based on your
Yeah.
team, like what is gonna be the gameplay loop of your team, not only of your like of your core, like what you do, but what is your
Yeah.
team gonna do?
Depending on if they're in the core or not. I mean, there's going to be a lot of not the shout out to word it properly, but the dive characters are obviously going to go and obviously set up. They're not going to follow the same loop as the rest of the team.
Okay, let's expand on this. So dive characters, you have a Venom, right?
Yeah.
Another tank. You usually like the easy job is to start from tanks. You know what your good job is gonna be and how the core is gonna be playing, right? And you know that
Yeah.
let me show you this on. This is gonna be our core, relatively understandable. We have a Venom, okay, we have a Magic. Now you have to start thinking about how the tempo of the game is going to be. So if there will be two front lines here on equal mirror comps, the game is going to be pretty slow paced, right? Like the pace is going to be like very, very slow. They're just going to exchange damage until someone dies. Usually no one will die, and like a support will charge an ult and probably like a Gambit like initiate, and then there's going to be like a big ult exchange, whatever, right? But this is not the case here, right? Like you have heroes that have the tempo of the game scattered in this fashion, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So
Because they're
at
going to
some
go in, use
yes,
the
at
cooldowns,
some
and then they're going to have downtime.
at some point they're gonna have this thing called uptime, okay? And after that, they're always inevitably gonna have downtime. So now you have to understand where you see your gameplay is gonna look like this usually compared to them. What you could do instead, you could sync up and do this. You see what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
So you on mag, you can't really have such a like massive uptime in their backline, whatever, like because you're not this type of a hero. You're not really like designed in this way, and at no point mag is gonna have such a downtime that he is gonna be like here, where he has to like fully disengage, you know, hide. Like in the back of his backline getting topped up fully, right? Usually, I mean, of course there will be some unique moments where it's gonna happen, but like overall, that's your kind of tempo around the game. So what you have to do, usually when I see people play, they are not aware and mindful about the tempo of the game. So what happens is that they're totally like disconnecting, like doing their own thing, you know what I mean? And then like sometimes you're synced up with the uptime of your team, and sometimes you're not synced up. So the Venom goes in, that guy's like, I don't know, not pushing, not pressuring, not doing anything on the map, and then Venom is out, Venom is on the uptime, and then he goes forward, presses a team up, and tries to kill someone as a map, right? And in this time, because the Venom is on a downtime and both supports are looking at the Venom to top 1000 HP hero in their backline, this guy, because he's completely like not synced up at whatsoever, he is popped. Make sense? So that's what we are trying, like when I'm asking you, okay, when you press tab, what do you see? What do you want to think about? That's what I want. That I wanted, and like want you to start thinking about how is going to be the tempo of the game. What is it going to look like? If there is no Venom, let's say if there is an Emma, right, your tempo of the game will look like this, right?
Yeah, a bit more stable, yeah.
Higher, more stable, but higher peaks than mag because of the diamond form, for example. And like if it's I don't know, magic or like panther or like any diver, let's say in this case magic, if it's like Emma and magic, if we wouldn't have a venom, this hero would provide a spike at some moments. It's not really like team related, right? Like the core still plays in this fashion, but she provides a spike. What is the spike? Her going on the backliners, let's say there will be like 2 backliners, let's say, you know, this and this. If we would say that here on another side we have like a backliner and magic engages on them, the backliners are looking at her for, let's be honest, it's not a venom, so it's never going to be the uptime of a venom. But even this like 1, 2, like 3 seconds is the spike that you can use. That means that in this window, a frontliner cannot get healed. So you as an Emma, like Emma is just easier because she has a brighter turn, like diamond form into with crystal into CC and push back, for example, right? Like Mag doesn't really have any like of those abilities, but I'm just trying to explain you the concept. Okay, the concept is that you have to be mindful about making use of those small spikes to create a win condition, like window to pop a tank that is unaware of this. Like another tank is unaware of this because he is not thinking about it. He's not like synced up, you see. So you can't let yourself be that guy when you're playing into a diver, when your backline gets engaged, for you to be up too far. And we kind of fixed it already in the last session by you being in the core, being aware. So you probably don't have a problem with that anymore. So like you're probably aware when your backline or like your core gets engaged on, right? Correct? Okay.
For sure.
So now the thing is, what we're trying to add on, we're trying to add and fix your like aggressive, like oppressive skills for you to understand when they have this pressure in their backline or where there is a window for you to make an opening. So when I asked you to press tab and tell me how the game would be, that's what I wanted you to say instantly. You would have to say, our front line is not going to be as strong because one of my tanks is a dive tank, right? But instead we're going to have windows of opportunities when this guy is going to be getting uptime. And during this uptime, me and Punisher and maybe like Jubilee, maybe a team up, whatever, we have to make use of it, right? By trying to poke a tank or maybe help him out from an open angle with a team up or something, right? And then when he is back, or dads most of the times when he's back, let's say, and being topped up, you have to tell me that there I will not overplay, I will not play up, I will stable my team, maybe give a little bit of space. You have to identify, like when I ask you this question, when you play the game, every time now, like, so basically we had like layer 1, you were focusing on like the basics. Now we're kind of starting to think about not really like enemy team. Of course you will start to identify if enemy team does this, but mainly your team, and being connected with your team and being aware of who is engaging, when, why, how much how much attention they're taking. Can you play around this uptime when they're out? Now from this session and on, I want you to start thinking about the gameplay loop of your team, ups and downs, so you're able to understand when is your uptime, when is your downtime, when you can make a difference, when you can when you have to play slow, reserved, and stabilize. Okay, so instantly you have to identify that this is the character that's going to bring you a lot of uptime and take a lot of attention, and you have to look for opportunities to connect your uptime with him. Okay, so instantly you see this guy swinging, this is your attention, you are like, this is where you're looking. That means that he's gonna slam in like a second or two. That means that you need to connect with him. How can you connect with him here? You need to take an open angle and look for his slam with your team up. Okay? So the way it should be is, you see, so walking, team up, boom. And this is where you are basically making a difference in the game, winning first fight, maybe popping a support, etc, etc, right? That would be the first example. You're playing a bit more passive, okay, no problem. You are peeling your backline, so wait, and you are on controller, right? Correct? That's why you didn't turn well. But here it should obviously be like a bit more awareness, okay? Like bubble him, whatever. Now you're on a downtime because this guy died. Now you just have to sustain this corner, make sure that your backline doesn't die. I mean, this like again, now we have to start thinking and being more detailed around your cooldowns after this session, right? If we really want to punch through like the Celestial, we really need to start making sure that you optimize your cooldowns usage, right? Your team up on an uptime explosively, your bubbles not really using them for no reason, just to use them. Start thinking more about like, is it needed, is it not? If he's full HP, you can just like hover around him, and if he start like getting damage, of course there shouldn't be a spawn, but like just in other situations, like if he is actually getting focused, then bubbling or whatever, you know, like being a bit more careful. I mean, this was nice by you, popping your cooldowns, but I wouldn't pop a team up here. Why? Can you tell me why?
Downtime. Venom's dead.
Okay, and when do you need your team up? In how many seconds?
In the uptime, well, he's going to be about 3 seconds to spawn, and he swings out, isn't he? So it's going to be
5 seconds.
10 seconds. Right? Yeah, 5 seconds. Yeah.
Realistically, 5 seconds. He's just going to swing out and almost insta slam. Your cooldown, you see? So it's going to end
12 seconds.
12 seconds, and he's swinging. Okay, you see the problem?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is that you already, like the fight, like the game began 24 seconds and you already haven't synced up once. So now you guys are not playing as a team, and that's okay because it's ranked, but it's not up to him. Because he's gonna be doing his shit all game. He might have 17 deaths. He's gonna walk out, slam, whatever. What you could be doing, and a good player would be doing, he would identify opportunities to gain value from his uptime. Right? Makes sense?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So again, you see no team up. He's dead again because you were on the cooldown. Now it's kind of a stalemate, you see? So you're not, I mean, I closed my Notion, but it's not that big of a deal. You understand what I mean, right? And then, yeah, now we can just basically see, like, you're playing core well. We just can basically see, again, nothing is happening. Used your team up, and now he swapped. The second he swapped, now you have to change the way of thinking. You have to adapt, because now it's going to be a front to back. Now your only opportunity for an explosive like connection would be this. Remember we talked about her, right? So when you will see her developing, being able to go, you can use that to pop a team up, right? Or you can use a team up on a hard turn for a corner. So every corner of the map, especially on the front to back matchups, every corner is basically where the clash happens. It's called frontline clash. And then depending on the resources, who has more, again, I won't like overwhelm you with this. Usually the way the fights are happening, they're happening for 90-degree angles, especially in the front to back matchups. So 90-degree angle, frontline clash, and on front-to-back matchups, the frontline clash is basically where one team is gonna push forward and another team is gonna fall down. So it doesn't make sense for you to be in this area. Use your cooldowns like this, because the cart is gonna push from this area towards this area, and then it's gonna be stopped. So it doesn't make any sense to tank a big cooldown and then when the cart is stopped, not have the resource, right? You need to wait for the cart to push up, and then here you swing like from here diagonally, open angle, right, to shoot the backline. Maybe you can make a turn on this mag, whatever, but on a 90-degree angle. Then this should unlock him to back off, and this will unlock this whole area for you. The next time when the card is going to be stopped is going to be that corner, right? Like the card is going to be here, and this is where again your cooldown's already going to recharge and you're making another hard turn. So you're spacing out your cooldowns in a way to gain value macro wise, while also not shying away from connecting on small spikes of uptime like dive heroes, because dive tank is a big uptime, dive DPS is somewhat of like a smaller uptime. Okay, so here your general idea should be to just play close angle, like just chill, do nothing, wait for the card to be flashed on the corner, with another front line, and then look for a small spike of an uptime. Also, you at this time already, again, I just don't want you to like start thinking a lot after this session, right? So I just only want you to focus on this. But
Yeah,
of
for sure.
course, you need to be mindful about them doing it. You need to be mindful about Wolf, so you can't really play sometimes like close angles that much because he likes them to grab. Like, but I don't want you to overthink it. I want you to focus on this the same way you focus simply on being the core after the first session, and then this one will be next session, what to do against enemy and how to adapt against enemy, right? Like we need to take it portionally, time at like once at a time. Okay, so you see, so now the card is here. Now they're gonna be holding you on this corner. What do you need here? You need a team up, right? So now you're looking for an opportunity to make a difference, make a turn to unlock this space. Okay, how could we do this? Again, magic. Where is she on the map now? She's kind of main, doing nothing. Okay, then you have a thing. Okay, so you don't really necessarily have to insta pop a team up here. You can just let the fight cook a little bit, and then when you see an opportunity, like for example, this guy will. So you need to let the fight cook. I call it like this, right? Like you need to for this guy to maybe press a bubble,
Yeah.
her to press some cooldowns, whatever, and then you see that he has no bubble. Maybe he pressed a shield, and he at his HP is like 75, like here. This is where you can press a team up, but you're not shooting him. You're going to be shooting this area, right? And now he's without resources 75. You see he's on an open angle because he has no clue what he's doing, right? So now you can shoot them for free. So instead of him being here in front of you, closing the angle, which would make it a bit inefficient for you to shoot the backline, right? You can utilize him making this mistake later on, but in the beginning you need to let the fight cook a little bit. Now we talked about this, but you don't have to worry about this for now. Okay, it's fine. Before that, if you would be like I don't know, Eternity player, you would have to know that they have wolves, so you can't play a close angle, you have to play differently, but forget about it for now. It's fine. Get grabbed, no worries. You should survive. Okay. Okay, and now you traded resources. I mean, you popped the team up because you were low, you saw an opportunity. Okay, fine, no problem. That is just a consequence of you getting grabbed. I don't really mind that. That's not that big of a deal. Let's see how you played this. So they're playing this high, right? Like, again, do you need to do anything right now with that? Nothing has to be done, right? The card is pushing for free. The card is going to go all the way here until they start touching it or dropping or whatever. So you're kind of just like playing it raw, playing the neutral, not popping your big abilities for now, for the upcoming like couple of seconds, letting the fight cook. I mean, this right click is fine, but again, I would even prefer you to have this right click. And then here, let's see what's happening. So I mean, popping a team up here makes sense because he's engaging. So you see, you're syncing up your team up with an uptime. That's fine because Sting is a front to back character, but let's be honest, he has a little bit of like a dive, right? Like an engage, an uptime, right? So you're syncing up with his uptime. That's fine. Here you get completely lost because of the wolf. Like the wolf is probably the worst character to play while you're on the controller.
Now, honestly, man, just fully round in circles.
Yeah, makes sense. Now this guy, he opens an angle. This should instantly be identifier for you to lock the, like, to block the angle from him, right? To put your body in front of him. That's what you do. Okay, keep the close angle, and then I mean now it's just gonna go into ultratation. I don't want to like deconstruct each one of your like cooldowns used. You know, I don't really want to do that. We just need to maximize your uptime and make sure that you don't waste your cooldowns for no reason. And so far, okay, let's see. So now you're backing off. Now it's their uptime because they're ulting, right? Stabling, blocking the angle, putting your body in front of him because he always tries to go for your backline. You see? That's what we discussed, right? He always does this. And like you see, you're putting your body in front of him, it's making it much harder. You eat some of the damage, like, so you're doing a good job from the first session. Now we just need to make sure that we make it more efficient. Okay, that's fine. You win this fight. Okay, let's see how you approach the next one. So the next one is, and this guy is like too far. Okay, nothing has to be done here, right? So far so good. Just make sure to understand where your team is, play a diagonal angle, just poke it, wait for some type of an uptime. Uptime could be for this goal to develop. I mean, you have a flanking Punisher all of this time, right? So you are losing on a like on the main pressure, but also you could use that flanking Punisher as a slight uptime too, right? Because people will turn on him, right? So I'm not sure you're identifying it, but again, being more aware, identifying it is the goal of this session, and is going to be the goal of your like games after this session for like whatever days until the next session, right? Understanding, okay, this guy's like, is he main? Is he shooting with me, right? Like, if he's not where he is, what is he doing? And if he's doing this, you can also connect with this. A good player is a good player because he, even if he's trolling, he's making max use of him trolling, right? So when he will go, you can also go. So let's see. For now, just kind of it's fine to back off here. I like it because you don't have any pressure. Again, this team up, you see, again, like not needed. Nothing is happening. Like no one is critical. You have all of your cooldowns. They're not even walking you down for now for you to try to match the pressure. Nothing is happening. So let's see. So I mean, they kind of comboed you. Could you backed up a bit more behind the card, because you see the closed angle now when they do this is either here, but I don't really like giving all the space, right? This doesn't feel right. So maybe like doing something like this behind the card. But again, it's not really up to you. Your positioning was fine. You just kind of got comboed. It's ranked, yeah, but they did a combo, so they open an angle by just grabbing it. That's actually crazy. But yeah, okay. I'm not sure that's a good mag ult. I think it's not a good mag ult. Okay. The mag ult ideally, and like you already lost the gambit, so I mean ideally you would want to, even if you lose that fight, it's fine. Nothing really like happened, right? You would want to keep it for the next gambit. Because Gambit ult kills through Jubilee ult, and mag ult is like the best ult against the Gambit. So ideally, it's like for you to keep it. I mean, it will probably work out in the end, but like yeah, it doesn't really work out. So it's basically a waste. Same thing. Identifying how to maximize your abilities and how to play and sync with your team is the goal of the session. It includes ults, right? So thinking, how can I use my ult for my team in the best, like in the most efficient way, okay? You press tab, you pick first priority ult would be using it into Gambit for sure, all of the time. If he ults, like it's almost a no-brainer, don't even think about it. And then second ult, like second priority would be like maybe into like a thing ult that was successful, maybe in like something, but ideally is, unless you see like a very good clutch opportunity, you shouldn't do it. Also, why is it not worth? You already lost the support, you just unlocked the point, your spawn is here, you didn't use anything big, it's not that deep to lose, right? It's not really that big of a loss. Yeah, you threaten so much space for Gambit into that. Yeah. Okay, so again, you see same thing with the team up, pressuring whenever it's not really needed, whenever it doesn't really make sense macro-wise. Nice bubble on the Gambit. I mean, your supports are kind of going crazy. I mean, here you're like playing a bit too passive. You should walk up. Okay, with him you should walk up, and then start trading like HP with him as a tank, right? Trading HP, trading your shield, right? Because he's on an uptime. So if you can't help him on an uptime by, let's say, teaming up from an angle, or maybe even from here, and like shooting the backline or the Bucky to spread this damage, you need, because you just used your team up, right? You need to use your other abilities to help him with an uptime. Like he's fighting, he's clashing the front line, and you're not really like helping him, right? So you're fully disconnect. You're playing it like a sniper right now rather than a tank. Okay, and there is a time to play like a sniper for sure, right? But it was the case when the Venom was in the beginning, but you missed that opportunity too, right? So we already see that you are not really efficiently utilizing your kit and making doing your job as a tank. You're missing on a lot of opportunities. So you kind of get run over, but also, of course, I mean, I do understand, don't get me wrong, that this guy like perma-flanking and not providing front-to-back pressure, and this guy also not finding any engagements or whatever, because I just don't see him on my screen ever. It doesn't help, okay? So it's not really fully on you, but you could definitely be more efficient with it, 100%. Okay, let's go again. Let's see, let's check it out.
You cannot hurt me.
I think I'll probably do the same thing again.
I feel like myself again.
Yeah, same thing with the team up. Nice bubble. Focusing on this. I'm not sure why you were shielding here, but here it would be not a team up. Team up, like your team up is an offensive tool, right? Here it's a defensive position. They're making a turn on you, so it's a bubble on your teammate. Here you turn, you bubble your teammate, and then you're not trying to kill him or shoot him. Your main objective should be to put your body here, shift, okay, to tank as much damage as possible and like close the angle for him, right? And then after that, when you're deprived of all of that and you don't see like any value, then maybe you can like turn and help. But ideally, it should be his job to turn and help, while your job should be to put your body, shift, maybe bubble yourself and like eat as much damage as possible, maybe try to shoot back the Bucky with the team up as an offensive tool to try to force him away from this line of sight, right? Like all of this should be your job and your mentality, but you're playing a bit too passive, right? Like, and we need to start playing a bit more like a tank, right? But not too far. So you already have this like idea, but you're playing a bit too close. So where would be like a nice place for you? Here, right?
On the card, yeah.
That's it, right? And then you would play here on the card, here. Okay, this would happen, and then you see this guy jumping. You turn, bubble, and then put a shield. Teaming up again. Not really like making value of it. So this is one of your biggest issues so far, that you're basically, yeah, like you're just throwing half of your kit like nowhere, right? Okay.
Armed and dangerous.
Okay.
Again.
Let's continue to the next fight. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I just can't, bro. Game melting the PC, yeah, I mean, I just can't, bro, I'm sorry. But, I mean, I would just be going over the same things, okay? So,
yeah,
I do think...
no, I get the, yeah, I get the,
yeah, I do think that we're just gonna call it here, but I do think that it's more than enough for you to focus on, okay?
Yeah, for sure.
And, like, being, like, locked in and aware and, like, full mental capacity on when can you squeeze max value with your abilities would be like the way for you to go now, and then it would definitely help you out. I'm pretty sure you can, with this for like couple of days for sure, like playing, getting used to it, whatever, by the end of the next week you will be Celestial free. And if no, like somewhere in the moment, like maybe it's Wednesday or something, Thursday, just sync up with me, and then if you're struggling, maybe like I can watch again and like see maybe something else. But this should be more than enough, trust me. Like you're already doing all the correct like positioning on the map, right? You're just playing a bit too passive and you're throwing half of your kit away. All right, Raj Dogs, keep in touch.
All right,
All right,
will
bye-bye.
do. See you soon. Bye.